File item 35, Senate Concurrent Resolution 47. Senator Fuller? Pass on file. File item 36, SCR 48. Senator McGuire. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 48 by Senator McGuire relative to geothermal awareness.
Senator McGuire.
Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, Madam President. An honor to be able to bring forward a very steamy issue to this respected body. It is with great pleasure to rise with Senator Ben Hueso and celebrate the month of May as Geothermal Awareness Month. From the Salton Sea in the south to the geysers of the North Coast, geothermal energy is an important source of our state's ever-growing renewable portfolio. Geothermal power is derived from heat from Earth's core. It's clean and predictable, offering a reliable and renewable energy source. The Golden State receives more than 2,500 megawatts of electricity from geothermal production every year. However, we know that there is more than 4,000 megawatts available in California, 25 known geothermal resource areas. The geysers along the North Coast, overlooking the world-class wine region of Alexander Valley, is the largest geothermal field in the world, and it produces approximately 60% of the energy demand for the hardworking residents who live from the gorgeous span of the Golden Gate Bridge to the Oregon border. And I know, Madam President, we're going to hear more from Senator Hueso about the Salton Sea in just a bit. The North Coast geothermal plant powers 725,000 homes every day. And not only do the geysers deliver reliable energy for the region, but it also partners with local cities in an innovative program that injects 20 million gallons of treated wastewater daily into the hot steam fields of the geysers. Finally, reinvesting in geothermal energy production is economically beneficial as well. Not only is there a significant infusion of jobs when a plant chooses to expand, as the geysers have, but it provides a critical tax base for local jurisdictions. In fact, the geothermal geysers represents the largest property taxpayer in Lake, Sonoma, and Inyo counties. Investing in California's geothermal portfolio is an economically and environmentally friendly component of California's plan to revitalize our AB 32 goals, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator McGuire. Senator Hueso.
Thank you, Madam President and Senators. I could not resist the opportunity to speak in support of this very important measure. I want to thank my colleague, Senator Mark McGuire, for bringing forward Senate Concurrent Resolution 48. Again, I have to chime in that there are very few opportunities to provide energy to Californians that do so many good things as geothermal does. Right now in Imperial County, geothermal is actually paying for a lot of environmental improvement projects along the Salton Sea. We're getting a lot of ecosystem built out there for the benefit of the birds, the migratory birds, and improvements along the Salton Sea. Thank you to geothermal. And never mind the fact that there is no source of power in the state of California that produces more jobs per kilowatt hour than geothermal. So for us out there in a county with some of the highest unemployment rates, geothermal is a pathway not only to create jobs, but to create baseload power and to help restore the Salton Sea and to create that important habitat. Harnessing heat into power. What a novel idea. But that's something that we need to do more in California. Out there in my district in Imperial County, we have enough geothermal activity to replace San Onofre. And while we're having this debate about who's going to pay for San Onofre, had we done geothermal from the beginning, there would have been no need for San Onofre. And there would be no need to have ratepayers pay to not produce power. And instead, we would be creating jobs out there in Imperial County, and we'd be helping the environment, we'd be helping air quality, and we'd be providing our state with a steady stream of renewable power. Thank you. I hope everybody can support this.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Nielsen.
Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I'm happy to join Senator McGuire honoring these counties that I formerly represented. But let me offer something that was significant to me. I would not consider myself a scholar of geology by any means. I think I got a B, but no better than. But I've always been kind of a student and intrigued by it, never more so than when I came to represent these geothermal fields, and being fascinated about what's going on down in the earth underneath all of this and what was going on eons ago when the volcanoes were blowing. It is a fascinating source of energy, but also a fascinating source of that energy as well. Urge and I vote.
Senator Gaines.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, I did want to recognize the author for bringing this forward. I represent Lassen County that has huge geothermal potential. We just need additional infrastructure so that we can get that power on the grid. So in support, thank you.
Any further discussion or debate? Seeing none, Senator McGuire, would you like to close? Mr. Yes. Is there any objection to the use of a previous unanimous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 36, no 0. The resolution is adopted. Item 37, Senate Concurrent Resolution 49, Senator Berryhill. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 49 by Senator Berryhill relative to Wildfire Awareness Week.
Senator Berryhill.
Awesome. Thank you, Madam President. Members, May 3rd to the 9th is a Wildfire Awareness Week, and is a time to remind all Californians of the role they play in preparing for and preventing wildfires. Now, the week that is recognized is May 3rd to the 9th. We got cut off last week, but it's kind of relevant because it's really wildfire year. We've got such a fourth year of drought, and we're a spark away from having another catastrophic fire like the Rim Fire or the Kings Fire that produces billions of tons of carbon that affects literally the whole country. SCR 49 joins the state and local officials and the governor's proclamation to highlight the important life-saving fire safety tips that all Californians should know to be protected and survive a wildfire. Between 5,000 and 8,000 wildfires plague California annually, destroying property, taking lives, and damaging precious natural resources. In an average year, wildfires burn 900,000 acres across California's timbers and grasslands. Already this year, CAL FIRE has responded to over 1,100 fires that pours millions of tons of carbon into that atmosphere. That is a 75% increase in wildfires this year. It is no doubt that the fire season is already on us. Our firefighters themselves do an awesome job, but we have to do our part too. For people up in the mountains and in fire areas, simply clearing a 100-foot dispensable space around a structure has a significant impact on its ability to withstand a wildfire. And any of you members that haven't seen one of these fires up close and personal, make a real believer out of you. And when the next one happens, I highly recommend you go up and see our firefighters and CAL FIRE at work. Well, Wildfire Awareness Week is a great opportunity to educate every Californian of the importance of fire safety. For folks vacationing or living in rural communities, to be prepared in the event of a wildfire is critical for your survival. Part of that education also includes understanding why these fires occur and the importance in preventing the next one from happening. In the fire season as bad as we have right now, catastrophic fires are just a spark away. High-intensity wildfires can scorch a landscape, dramatically reducing water quality and creating lasting impacts on wildlife and carbon storage, not to mention the habitat for endangered species that it just burns up. This was especially visible during the 2013 Rim Fire that was in my district, that tore through over 250,000 acres near Yosemite National Park. And then just this last year with the King Fire. Emissions released from the King and Rim Fire combined to be 3.1 million cars produced in a year. and each fire left behind a landscape that will not recover in any one of our lifetimes. The constant threat of fire danger is only made worse by dry conditions from a fourth year of this historic drought, creating a year-round fire season here in California, which is exactly why SCR 49 and Wildfire Awareness Week are important opportunities to join with local and state firefighters and homeowners across California to reduce the risk of wildfire through raised awareness of fire safety precautions. Please join me in supporting SCR 49.
Thank you, Senator Berryhill. If colleagues could please take your conversation to the back of the chambers, we can keep the noise level down, please. Discussion or debate? Senator Gaines.
Yeah, Madam President and members, I want to thank my colleague for bringing this resolution forward. It's a key issue throughout my district, which is northeastern California. We had the weed fire that basically destroyed half the town. Over 130 homes burned down, including 4 of firefighters. So I want to thank you for the awareness and how critical this is, and we need the funding to make sure that we're doing the proper forest management to try to reduce the damage caused by these wildfires. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion or debate? Seeing none, any objection to the use of a previous unanimous roll call? Hearing none, ayes 36, no 0. The resolution is adopted. Moving on to file item 38, SCR 50, Senator Nielsen. Senator Nielsen, SCR 50. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 50 by Senator Nielsen relative to World War II Remembrance Month.
Senator Nielsen.
Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, this resolution follows the introduction that all of you so gloriously greeted last week, those World War II veterans. Now, these were not veterans, but those were the sons and grandsons of veterans in those uniforms, but we were recognizing the VE Day and the beginning of the end of World War II. This resolution simply commends those who fought for our country in World War II.
Thank you, Senator. Any discussion and debate? Seeing none, any objection to the use of a previous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 36, no 0. The resolution is adopted. File item 39, Senate Bill 340. Senator Anderson is not at his desk. File item 40, Senate Bill 302. Senator Laura. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 302 by Senator Lara, an act relating to the payment of claims against the state, making appropriation therefore, and declaring the urge thereof to take effect immediately.
Senator Lara.
Thank you, Madam President and members. SB 302 is an urgency measure to appropriate approximately $29.3 million from the general fund and special funds to pay settlements in 4 claims against the state. Based on the facts and circumstances surrounding these cases, both the Attorney General and the Department of Finance agree that the payment of these claims are in the best interest of the state. This bill received unanimous and bipartisan support from my colleagues in the Appropriations Committee. I respectfully ask your aye votes.
Thank you, Senator. Is there any discussion and debate? Seeing none, is there any objection to the use of a previous roll call? Yes, there is. We will, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Cannella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Galgioni. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Hill. Aye. Wesso. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Aye. Liu. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye. Wesso, aye.
Ayes 35, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 35, no 0. The measure passes. File item 41, Senate Bill 371. Senator Hancock. Pass on file. File item 42, Senate Bill 485. Senator Hernandez. Pass on file. File item 43, Senate Bill 493. Senator Cannella. Pass on file. File item 44, Senate Bill 562. Senator Lara. Pass on file. File item 45, Senate Bill 408. Senator Morrell. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 408 by Senator Morrell, an act relating to healing arts.
Senator Morrell.
Yes, good afternoon, Madam President and members. SB 408 simply recognizes the position of midwife assistant by establishing training requirements and defining the duties they can perform. Current law establishes these parameters for medical assistants. Because duties performed by an individual assisting a midwife are very specific compared to those of a medical assistant, a very different category is necessary. Amendments simply added nurse midwives to the practitioners who can oversee a midwife assistant. The previous version of the bill included only licensed midwives. I want to thank you and ask for your aye vote.
Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, is there any objection to the use of a previous roll call? Ayes 36, no 0. The measure passes. File item 46, Senate Concurrent Resolution 35. Senator Stone, pass on file. Colleagues, we'll now go back to the top of the file and return to file item 10, where amendments are pending. File item 11, Senate Bill 692. Senator Vidak, Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 692 by Senator Vidak, an act relating to gambling.
Senator Vidak.
Madam President and members, Senate Bill 692 establishes regulations for former members and employees of the California Gaming Control Commission or Bureau of Gambling Control when seeking employment as a consultant or key employee of a gambling establishment. Over the years, some former Bureau members have resigned and then immediately started consulting with tribal casinos or card rooms. SB 692 would simply establish regulations to help prevent this from occurring. SB 692 has no opposition and has received unanimous support. I ask for your aye vote.
Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, any objection to the use of unanimous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 36, no 0. The measure passes. File item 12, Senate Resolution 20. Senator Berryhill, pass. File item 13, Senate Bill 801. Senator Hertzberg, pass. File item 14, Senate Bill 651. Senator Leyva, pass. File item 15, Senate Bill 475. Senator Monning, pass on file. File item 16, Senate Bill 321. Senator Bell, pass on file. File item 17, Senate Bill 342. Senator Jackson. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 342 by Senator Jackson, an act relating to unemployment insurance.
Senator Jackson.
Thank you, Madam President and colleagues. We know the future of California rests on the skills of its workforce, and we are facing a critical challenge in providing a workforce that is trained to meet the needs of an ever-changing and evolving economy. In addition to facing a shortage of trained workers, the state is facing the reality that women and people of color remain underrepresented in careers that pay higher wages and hold greater opportunity for advancement, and remain overrepresented in low-wage jobs. SB 342 is a simple but focused measure that requires the California Workforce Investment Board to develop programs to help individuals with barriers to employment to achieve economic security, including those who are low-skilled or low-wage workers, the long-term unemployed, and members of single-parent households. This bill recognizes workplace-based programs are a viable option for sector-focused training. The measure is in line with the new federal WIOHA, Workforce Investment and Opportunities Act. I encourage you all to practice that acronym a few times. But it is in line with their standards and programs by making it clear that the state should focus on those with barriers to employment. One of the ways is job site compensated training, which we also call earn and learn. An example is the the University of California at San Francisco, where the Jewish Vocational Services runs an earn and learn program for CalWORKs recipients, mostly single mothers. These women receive stipends while being trained at the job site, learning the skills that UCSF likes to see in their administrative employees. The JVS program has an 80% placement rate. This bill has bipartisan support. This will be good for our economic engine. This will be good for people who are challenged in getting into meaningful jobs in the workplace, and I would therefore ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator. Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, is there any objection to the use of unanimous roll call? There is one objection, so please call the roll, Mr. Secretary.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Cannella. Aye. DeLeon. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Galgiani. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Aye. Liu. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Ayes 35, no 0, the measure passes. File item 18, Senate Bill 450, Senator Allen. Pass on file. File item 19, Senate Bill 505, Senator Mendoza. Pass. File item 20, Senate Bill 533, Senator Pan. Pass on file. File item 21, Senate Bill 579, Senator Jackson. Senator Jackson. Pass on file. File item 22, Senate Bill 641, Senator Wachowski. Pass. File item 24, Senate Bill 719, Hernandez. Pass. File item 25, Senate Bill 767, De Leon, not at his desk. File item 26, Senate Bill 464, Senator Hernandez. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 464 by Senator Hernandez, an act relating to healing arts.
Senator Hernandez.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, this bill authorizes the medical board to consider the use of self-reporting tools by those who are licensed to dispense prescription drugs. Self-screening tools are used every day and help healthcare professionals collect patient information, like questionnaire you fill out when you first see a doctor. These tools are used to collect information like family, medical, and substance use history. This bill is meant to start a dialogue in California about utilization of electronic self-screening tools, particularly mobile applications, in an era where telehealth is expanding access to care in rural and underserved communities. With that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator. Is there any discussion or debate? Senator Morrell.
Yes, sir. I just want to say I'm going to either abstain or vote no on this bill for right now, because I prefer when a bill's been fully vetted, and I know this still has a work in progress, but I'm open to voting for it later, Senator. Thank you.
Senator Nielsen, is your mic up? Okay, thank you. Any further discussion or debate? Seeing none, Senator Hernandez, would you like to close?
I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Block. Aye. Cannella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. Galgiani. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Aye. Liu. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. I. Monning. I. Morlock. No. Morell. No. Wynn. I. Nielsen. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. Stone. Vidak. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Call the absent members.
Anderson. Berryhill. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. I. Huff. Liu. Nielsen. Runner. Stone. Vidak.
Ayes 27, noes 2. The measure passes. File item 27, Senate Bill 188. Senator Hancock? Pass. Colleagues, we will now move on to the consent calendar. File items 59 through 66. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 440, 597, 65, 416, 418, 412, 236, and Senate Bill 404.
Thank you. Please call the roll on file item 59.
Allen. I. Anderson. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. Fuller. I. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Hueso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lara. I. Leno. I. Leyva. I. Liu. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell.
Aye.
I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morell. I. Wynn. I. Nielsen. I. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Ayes 36, noes 0. The consent calendar is approved. Returning to motions and resolutions, Senator Hertzberg. For what purpose do you rise?
To my first adjourn in the memory.
Thank you, sir. Please proceed.
Members, I rise to adjourn in the memory of the legendary social justice and capital advocate, Betty Perry. Betty used to diligently walk these halls lobbying on behalf of the California Senior Legislature and most notably for the Older Women's League of California. She was passionate about single-payer health care, housing, budget, civil rights, and other issues impacting seniors. For the Older Women's League of California, she served in multiple volunteer roles, including public policy director and statewide president. She served in many other capacities, including a board member of the Health Access California. All of these jobs, which amounted to a full-time job, was how she spent her time in retirement. Listen to this. Betty's first career had been a high school guidance counselor at C.K. McClatchy High School. Her students included, among others, Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy, former state senator Deborah Ortiz, and the late Congressman Robert Matsui. She was a tremendous advocate, as I say, for universal single-payer health care and a frequent priority for the Older Women's League of California. And their annual Mother's Day card, Action Lobby Day, that she organized would have been taking place about this time each year. She retired in 2010, and a lot of members certainly hadn't had a chance to meet her and get to know her as I did. Betty hasn't been around for the last few years, but she got around to her retirement. And I can't think of another advocate in my years here in this House and the other House and in the legislature who worked as tirelessly and determined as she did. Betty will be sorely missed. Thank you very much, members.
Senator Jackson.
Yes, on this as well, I would like to also join in with Senator Hertzberg in adjourning in the memory of Betty Perry. She was really a presence here. She, along with Sister Sheila, were the two who spoke. They were the voice of the voiceless. They were here because they were here to do good. They were here because they were the conscience of this legislature. They weren't paid for their work. They were here because they believed so passionately in the justice of their cause. And she was unequivocal, but always personable, always very honest and forthright and sincere, just like a high school teacher. And there's no accident that she was the teacher to so many extraordinary people, because she taught about truth, she taught about justice, she taught about fairness, and she exemplified them in the work that she did up here in the legislature. And so I would like to also remember her, along with my colleagues who remember working with her. When Betty got up to speak, she was always speaking truth to power. Betty, you will be deeply missed.
Thank you very much, Senator Jackson, and Ms. Perry will indeed be missed. Please submit her name to the desk. Senator Fuller, for what purpose do you rise?
Announcement.
Please proceed.
Members, we have a bipartisan, bicameral opportunity on May 21st at the 54th Annual California Prayer Breakfast. 54th, so I don't think we want to miss it, the 54th. It's been going for a long time. It will be held the morning of Thursday, May 21st at the Sheraton Grand. We are pleased that the New York Times best-selling author, Francis Chan, will be our keynote speaker. I think you'll all like him. And the Assembly member, Sebastian Ridley Thomas, I, and the committee members think that you'll enjoy what he has to say about his work. He was drawn to work with the poor and the homeless in the Tenderloin district of San Francisco. After spending a number of years behind the pulpit at a large church in Simi Valley, Mr. Chan felt called to resign from his role and come home to San Francisco to help the needy and the homeless. There are a few tables left, not many. Please contact Cheryl in my office if you have any questions or need assistance. There's also a webpage. Thank you. Hope to see you all there.
Thank you very much. I don't see Senator Hall, so purposes of announcement, at the conclusion of today's session, if members would like to take photos with Compton's own Kendrick Lamar, you can do so in room 211, and the sergeants are asking that you enter through the room in the room 215 in the rear of the chambers. Don't exit the chambers, enter that room through the door there to my far left. If there's no other business, Senator Fuller, the desk is clear. Senator Fuller, the desk is clear.
The Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We will reconvene Thursday at 9 a.m. Thank you.
The Senate will be in recess today until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made, and we will reconvene Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Thank you.